One of the options to make your ad units responsive, meaning it automatically resizes depending on the device the user is on, is to use size mapping in Google Ad Manager. So for example, this ad unit that serves a 970 by 250 on a desktop device changes into a 728 by 250 on a tablet and 300 by 250 on mobile. You then have to configure your ad units on Google Ad Manager with all the corresponding ad sizes you want it to serve. In this example, I have multiple sizes for this ad unit. The big sizes here will be for desktop or tablet, and the small ones will be for mobile. Create and configure as many ad units as you wish to run on your site with all their corresponding ad sizes. It's a mix of all mobile, desktop, tablet ad sizes, and we'll have our code handle size mapping later. The next step is to plan on your size maps. In size mapping, we care about the minimum width of the device. In this example, I will set the height to 0 because it can be any height or any size in terms of height. But when it comes to the minimum width, I'll set it to 992 pixels for desktop, 728 pixels for tablet, 320 pixels for mobile. In other devices, it can be any size less than 320. Next, think about the ad placements you have for your site. In this example, I have 3 size maps for the top, side, and middle of the page. For mapping 1, for the top portion of my site, I will have the large sizes in there. And for the side, mapping 2, I have the vertical sizes, 160 by 600 for example, or 300 by 600, along with the rest of the sizes. And for the middle of the content, I have mapping 3. I still have some horizontal and square ads, but I don't have the large ads for this mapping in here. Feel free to add more size maps as necessary depending on the ad spots on your site. This is where you now declare that if the device the user is on is at least 992 pixels wide, then these are the sizes eligible to serve. If the user is on a device that's at least 728 pixels wide but less than 992, these are the sizes eligible. If the user is using a device that's 320 pixels wide at least, but it's less than 728, these are the sizes that can serve. For anything else that's smaller than 320 pixels, these are the only sizes that can serve. Once you have established the plan for your size maps and you have the ad units configured on Google Ad Manager, go to dfpgpt.appspot.com, put in your GAM network ID here, click Advanced Options, turn on Size Mapping. I'll now put the mapping 1 first, the viewport size, and the corresponding eligible sizes. Add new screen size, grab the second one, and the corresponding sizes. Enter. Done for mapping 1. Click this plus sign for the new size map, and this time do mapping 2. Mapping 3. And done. Now let's go ahead and configure our ad units here. For example, the first one, we grab the ad unit code and the configured ad sizes. Here, you have to choose which mapping or size map will apply to this ad unit. So this I plan to deploy, for example, on top of my page. It has a large size here, which is a 970 by 250. And on my size map, it qualifies to this rule right here. So I'll choose mapping 1 for this ad unit. Go ahead and add the rest of your ad units that you will deploy on your site. For my second ad unit, for example, I want this on the sidebar, so I have my vertical sizes configured for it, and so I will have to choose mapping 2 for it. So it will follow this rule right here. And now I have 2 more sizes here, which will be in the middle of the page. So for test unit 3, I'll choose mapping 3. And the same for my 4th ad unit here, I'll choose mapping 3, because that is the size map or rule that I want to follow for those in the middle of the page. Once all done, all the ad units configured, their ad unit code, corresponding ad sizes, and the size mapping that you want to apply for each, go ahead and generate the tag. Your header code will now contain the size mapping rules, and each of your defined slot here will have its corresponding defined size mapping. So this goes to the header section of your site. And of course, you have the corresponding body tags for each of your ad unit, and you deploy them where they're supposed to show up.